Folks, be careful about dragging others into your mess. I'll get into that and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the city of Toronto for week ending August 28th, 2024. There's a couple, husband and wife. They have their home currently for sale and it's not selling. It's a real problem for them. Let me give you the background story. They purchased the home that they're trying to sell now earlier in the year. And they purchased with a 3-month closing. And in that 3 months, the husband lost his job. So they couldn't close. He no longer qualified. Well, they no longer qualified for the mortgage. And so they spoke with the sellers, tried to get out of the deal. The sellers wanted nothing to do with that. So they asked for an extension, the buyers. And the sellers granted them a 1-month extension so the buyers could figure out how they're going to buy this house. That month went by and they tried alternative means of getting mortgages. They tried speaking with family. Nobody was able to help. They asked for another month extension and the sellers granted it. And the buyers, again, this couple I'm speaking of, tried everything they could in the process. Very stressful situation, but they tried everything to now either figure, how to close, how to get it. They couldn't get out of it. The seller kept saying no. And so they asked for another month extension. And this time the seller said, no, we've given you a 2-month extension. It's now, in theory, a 5-month closing since they purchased. Not in theory, in reality, it's basically a 5-month closing from the purchase. And the seller said, no, that's it. If you don't close now, you're going to basically be in breach and we're going to sue you. You need to close on this. And so the buyers, again, looked around, tried everything, asked for family. And finally, an uncle and aunt came forward to help them. The uncle and aunt were going to co-sign the mortgage so they could close on the home. But the plan was that the home they're purchasing gets sold right away because the uncle and aunt did not want to get involved in really actually owning the home. They did not want to get involved in making mortgage payments. The couple could no longer afford it. The husband had lost his job and hasn't replaced it with another job yet. And so the plan was that the home would be sold right away. And so that's what happened. They closed with the uncle and aunt co-signing. They closed. They qualified for a mortgage. They closed and they put the home up for sale. And that's where they are today. Now, initially, they put it up for sale at basically what they bought it for. So even if they would have sold it at what they listed it for, they just finished paying land transfer tax. And now there's other selling fees involved. They're already going to be losing thousands and thousands of dollars. But in 5 months, market has changed. So even what they paid for is not the selling price anymore. And they've done a few price reductions since they've listed. Still, no takers. It's, August, pretty slow out there these days. So no takers, no buyers are coming forward to buy. The uncle and aunt are getting antsy because they're on the hook for this home. It's a very, very stressful situation. This couple, what's eating them alive, the couple that has asked and got help from the uncle and aunt, what's really eating them alive more than anything right now is that they got their uncle and aunt involved into their mess. And they wish that they could have initially, when they approached the sellers and said, we need out of this deal, what could we do? They wished they would have tried harder to work something out financially, because where they are now, they're going to take a big financial hit anyways, and they are getting their uncle and aunt involved. If they would have initially just dealt with the seller, took whatever or argued whatever, or let the sellers come after them even. I'm not advocating or giving anybody financial advice that this is the right thing to do. But in hindsight, they wish they would have tried a little bit more to negotiate something when it was just them involved, not getting family members involved. That's what they wished. I see another side to the story. I'm telling you about the situation because often family members will come up front to help. They'll step up and say, yeah, let me help out, my kids, my nephew, my nieces, whatever the case may be. If you're getting family members involved, if you're the one buying, think long and hard about bringing somebody into your mess unless you have a solid exit strategy. But if you're the person helping, like the situation I've just explained, I didn't really see the uncle and aunt as helping that much. They helped them qualify for a mortgage. So, it's kind of like out of the frying pan and into the fire. Like, are you really helping the situation? I'll tell you how the uncle and aunt really could have helped. Become partners in the home and say, okay, here, you're putting 20% down. Well, we'll reimburse you half of that. So we're partners, 10% each in this home. And for 3 years, we're going to split the mortgage payments, and then we're going to reevaluate if we sell the home, or in the meantime, you could buy us out. Like something that changes the situation, changes the outcome. In the situation I just explained, I think the outcome is actually going to be worse maybe than if they would have dealt with the seller up front. So be careful about getting somebody else involved into your mess. And if you are the person getting involved, like really get involved, really be a help. But just to push the problem down the road a few months, sometimes you're actually making it worse. You're not really helping, and you're getting yourself mixed into a problem that you don't want to be part of. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. I was in the mall over the weekend, and a couple that watches this show introduced themselves to me. And I just want to say to them and to everybody else who watches the show, thank you. Your support means the world to us. Thank you. Let's get into the Toronto numbers. So here's a quick summary. I do have condos down here. We're not talking about condos in this show. That's tomorrow's show. But we are going to be talking about town, semis, and detached properties. These are average sold prices for a month for week ending August 28th. Now, the difference between the average condo price and the average detached price for this week, $869,000. Big price difference, big price point, right? Here we go. We're going to start off with detached properties. For week ending August 28th, 94 detached properties were sold. 16 of those were at $2 million or more. Although sales week ending August 28th is virtually the same. It's off by one. It's one more than what we sold the previous week. Overall, sales are trending down, which is normal for July, August. But at the time of airing this show, it's now first week of September. This is an exciting time. A lot of people do expect, well, seasonally, we see a big change often in the fall season. We do see an uptick. So lots of hopes for a lot of people thinking that the market's going to pick up. Even if it's for a short period, we do expect an uptick this fall. But right now, 94 sales were done. Average sold price, $1,523,000, way down from the previous week. If we look at the year, basically, 2024, we've seen average prices of detached properties going up to about the middle of May, and they kind of peaked mid 1.8 to high 1.8. Then we saw for the later part of the spring, we were in about the mid 1.7, and now for a while we've been hovering around high 1.5 to low 1.5. So big price differences through the course of the year. Compared to last year, 1,523, 2% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 3% lower than where we were this time a year ago. Median price for detached properties is $1,259,000. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Both average price and median price have been trending down over the course of the last 3 months. 94 were sold, 43% sold at list price or more. So high percentage still selling at list price or more. Listings trending down. Active listings, if we look just from the beginning of August, of 1,944 active listings to now 1,681 active listings. So active listings has gone down. Listings have gone down. Sales have trended down. Months of inventory, a little bit lower than where we were last week. However, overall, trending up. We're now sitting at 4.1 months of inventory for detached properties just for the city of Toronto. Pretty much a balanced market. That's the whole city. If we look at Toronto broken down into 9 different sections of all of Toronto, 4.1 months of inventory. There's 3 areas that really stand out that are outperforming the whole Toronto. Etobicoke had 15 sales, 3.6 months of inventory. So just a little bit more than what we would say as a seller's market. 3 months or less, we say, is a seller's market. This is still at the bottom end of a balanced market. East York, Riverdale Beaches, there were 9 sales of detached properties. Months of inventory there sitting at 2.9, so just below the balanced market threshold. Scarborough, 42 sales. Close to half of all of Toronto's sales were done in Scarborough. 42 out of 94 sales, 2.1 months of inventory, 57% sold at list price or more. So some areas outperforming the whole city of Toronto. Semi-detached. 30 detached properties were sold. 6 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price, $1,294,000. For a while there, kind of in May, we were sitting in the high 1.3s. We're now mid 1.2, high 1.2. So prices have come down for semis overall. The average sold price is currently 11% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 7% higher, but overall median and average price have been trending down for semis. 2.6 is the months of inventory. That's been trending up. Townhouses. 10 townhouses. These are freehold townhouses. 10 sold for week ending August 28th. 2 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price, $1,235,000. 1,235 is 7% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 5% higher. Median price, $1,350,000. Months of inventory sitting at 4.1 for freehold townhouses. Here's a quick summary. In most cases, we're not talking about the condo market. That's a whole different show at 7.8 months of inventory. But the freehold market here, pretty much a balanced market. Wherever you're going, you're going to find pockets that are still lots of competition, more of a seller's type of market. Not so aggressive too often, but at the top end of a seller's market, but pretty much a balanced market. But there will be some markets, some neighborhoods, some pockets where you experience more of a buyer's market. But generally speaking, balanced market across the board. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.